In our project today, we're going to be using clay to make a door that could take you anywhere. It could be a fairy door, it could be a door that takes you to a magical place where maybe it's your favorite video game or creatures. It could be a door that takes you to places that you would love to visit or a vacation you've been on before, something that you can just take your mind away and jump into. It could be something from a book that you've read or even a movie that you wish you could jump into as well. So, when we're working with our clay today, you're going to work with lots of little details and make the door something that inspires you or has you create something so different and unique and fun to yourself. So, take this moment now to kind of brainstorm ideas of where you want your door to take you and what that door might look like to take you to that special place. For today's project, you're going to have two of these, and you can use as many as you want. You can use your markers that you have at home, or you can build this and then let it dry, and then you can add the paints on top of it. So for me, I mean, you could cut it or open it in any way. I'm just going to easily cut it. Remember that this particular clay piece, it dries after it's been opened. So it's an air dry clay. If you don't want it to dry right away, what you can do is always just keep what you have of that plastic and then use like a chip clip or something after you roll it back in here, put it in a plastic baggie nicely with no air in it, and then it can last you weeks. So use what you want of this, and then you can build from there. So for this project, I want you to come up with whatever inspires you. So for me, it's summertime and I enjoy being outside. And so what I was thinking is I want to make a fairy door, something different and unique. So if you wanted to build something else, you're more than welcome to, and I'm always curious whatever you create. So, but I want to challenge you to, use the extra other clay for what you want. And then for this particular piece, let's work on building our fairy kind of door, whatever you want to use, okay? So I ripped this into like a chunk here, and then I got a bigger chunk here. And the first thing we'll do is just like we do with our clay, let's roll it into a ball, okay? And then I squish it a little bit like a cookie. So I want a cookie thickness. What I don't want to see is when it's super thin, where it's like this, because then it just doesn't stay on its own. And if you do that, roll it back into a ball, and then give it a cookie squish. So the reason I have us do that instead of on the table is sometimes we push too hard and then it gets that way. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to use my fingers and I'm going to kind of smooth out the bottom part here. And already it's got this really nice shape for a door, right? And you can do this in anything if you want to. You can do it on a piece of paper. You can do it on a placemat. This is nice. I don't recommend the carpet. All right, so you can see, you can look and go, which side do you like best? I'm going to keep this one because, it's kind of curved and raised, and I really like that. And then what I'm going to do is I want to add some decoration around the outside. So I'm going to make these little kind of stone-like balls to go around the outside. You can look up images and think of different fairy doors, or you don't even have to think of a fairy. It could be, what would you look at of a door that could take you into a place that is a place you wish you could just dream and go to, or if you had a magic door that you can go to your favorite vacation place if you ever get to travel. What type of door, do you want? Or sometimes you have, my daughter has some dreams, and I always tell her, the bad dreams, put them in behind a door or a box of some sort. And so you could have it like, okay, I don't open this. This is where everything goes. Or you can have all your favorite things go into this one. So this particular project piece, I know it doesn't quite go with our neon glow, but the glow paints will make it stand out. And we'll just give it that really cool fairy-like or interesting choice. All right, so already I'm just gonna check it's on there. I lifted it up, it's not squished on too hard, and that gives it a little bit of character. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is, I still have a lot here. I'm going to roll, so you can see, I'm gonna roll this with my fingers, and I can roll it a little bit more like this, and I'm gonna make a really cool vine effect. So I'm gonna move this like this for you, and I'm going to just kind of give it this really cool vine-like look. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more so you can see. And so I got my vine, and then I wanna make some leaves. So I'm just gonna kind of rip these little pieces off, and I'm going to squish it, but then I'm going to form it like a tip, here. So I'm going to do that. You can make your leaves any way you want, or you can turn them into flowers. Again, this is your choice. This is just what I'm making. Some of these are way too big, so I got to rip them and make them smaller, because I'm going to look. I want it to be like that. Ooh, that might be a better idea. I can kind of curl it and roll it like a taco, and that might help. You can use your nail to add some texture in if you want. And that'll help a little bit. There we go. I just wanted a couple leaves. So if you wanted to, you can always use a pencil, or if you have, a stick or something that you have at home, like a toothpick, you can use like a toothpick, and here you could even draw on some details. So let me move my door up a little bit more, and then you can see my little leaves that I was attempting to make. So all I did for my leaves was I made like a little ball, and I gave it a gentle squish, and then I pinched it, and then I was trying to just flatten it a little bit more and roll it. So it's not like the perfect leaf, but it's something, It could be any way you want it to be. All right. So I'm just going to stick these little leaves. I like that they're large enough but not overpowering, and that they're a little different. Each one's just a little different. I'm gonna stick them on my door like that, and then using that stick, think about what you want. Do you want something fun for a door handle first, and then you can go in with that texture? So I'm going to put my door handle like this, and then I want to have a piece that I can raise on it, So I'm gonna I flatten this into like a keyhole ring. And I'm gonna use this piece, and I'm just gonna kind of make a hole in here. I'm gonna put that there. It's kind of like a magic key to get into this door. And then I'm gonna draw some texture on here. So I'm gonna use, again, you can use a toothpick, you can use a stick of some sort, or a kebab stick. That's what I use at home and in the classroom. I just happen to have one of these on me. You can add all sorts of fun texture. You don't want to push too much that it rips it and it pulls out all your hard work. But I'm kind of just giving it a little indent. I'm just gently going like this. Okay, so now I've got my door, and you can continue adding more fun things that you want to it. You don't have to. It's really up to you. So again, I just roll this out. I want it a little bit more. And I could do some other little pieces. Like such. And if you don't like something, you can go, oh no, I don't like that. And the only thing is it sticks really well. So you might have to go back in and re-edit some stuff like this. But I just usually pet it nice and gently. I wanted to show you some oopses. And then go back in and just kind of add in some of that texture. So it's really up to you, however you want. Now, I have a lot of extra clay, and this is where you could do some fun things, where you can look up some directions of how to make some animals, if you would like. You can make this three-dimensional, where you make, well, I mean, it's already three-dimensional, I'm sorry, where you can make a stand for it. Honestly, anything that really stands out for you. And so once this dries, you can then make other things. So maybe you want animals or creatures or different other things. Like, for instance, this really cute little chameleon. So I'm going to move my little guy around the door, and I have some extra clay here for, say, this chameleon. So I'm going to rip off a chunk, if I wanted to do this. Make a ball, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm only going to roll half of it. Okay? So you roll half of this, and you see how it looks like this, right? So that's what's going to turn into this body. So then what I do is I just curl, and already I got like the start of the cute chameleon body. And then I have more of these, so I'm going to take maybe a couple more chunks, right? And I'm going to roll it into a ball. And then I'm going to rip this in two. I know you're probably like, why? You can always just rip it. I just wanted them to be around the same size. And then what I do is I pinch, pinch, pinch. Turn this, pinch, pinch, pinch. Pinch the top, pinch the sides. Rotate it. Keep pinching, pinching. Turn it, pinch, 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 pinch. See how it looks like a cube now? So I use that for the feet. And I can look and go, oh yeah, my little guy's gonna have some big feet, or big legs. And if it's ever too big, you can always just adjust it, rip it in half, you know? So I've got 2 back ends here, and then I need to make 2 more. Another way is you could just tap it, rotate it, tap it, rotate, tap it, and that makes the same thing. I just find it easier with my fingers, for me. Okay, similar size. I'm gonna stick that there. I'm gonna flatten this because I want it to be able to stand. And now I need 1 more. It's probably a little too big. Okay. All right, put that one there. And then go tap, tap, tap. And now, right now, you can see that, you know, I did the body. This is a smaller version, but I've got the body, the tail, I've got the legs. That's what we did on this. Now what we're gonna do is the head. Okay, so I don't wanna use this whole thing for the head. Instead, I'm gonna take about half of it because I still want more things. And I'm gonna make a ball, right? And this is usually where I say if you've got a pair of scissors, what you'll do is you'll just cut half of it. And then you open it up, and I just kind of flatten the mouth. Flatten it a little bit up here, right? And so here it's open. You can see it just nice and open. And then what I'm gonna do is tap this bottom on the table and see how it flattens it here. And so then I'm going to stick it on to the body. Pretty cool, right? So there, you can keep changing the shape of it as you want. Chameleons have these cool little eyes eyes. So I'm going to again use this piece. And I'm going to make a little ball, and I'm going to give it a nice little squish. The eyeball looks giant. I actually like it. I want a giant eye on here. Ta-da! I'm going to do the same on the other side. Give it a little squish. Okay, that one's a little too big. Let's rip off some of that. So as you're doing it, you'll make some oopses, and that's okay too. And then I'm just going to poke a hole to give it that cool eye effect, right? And there is my other chameleon. So you can have a little tongue sticking out. You can have all these things to go with your piece. I still have extra, and you can make smaller things. Mine's a little broken because it's been in my drawer. But, you know, I made like a little panda. This is where you add marker color. So if you haven't done it, you always, this has a lot of white to it. You always want to get smaller pieces, not do your whole thing. But say I wanted to make something green, I will add the color, and then what you do is you fold and squish it. And then I add color again. And then I fold and squish it. And you keep doing this over and over again. Like this, fold and squish. Like again, fold and squish. Now, if I wanted it to be a darker green, I would continue, but what I'm doing is pulling, and I'm doing a technique of folding that you'll do with baking even. And you can already see that it is mixing this by folding into this beautiful color. So this is another way that you can add something special that you want it to be. You know, say I want my chameleon to be on something. I could make it into a really big leaf that it could be on it, like such. And I could take my chameleon and stick them on there. And voila, again, it was nice and flat, so I gotta be careful when I lift it up. My chameleon could be on a little leaf pad, right? So it's up to you, whatever it is that you want to do with your clay pieces. Remember, put this back in bag if you want. And I hope you have fun. Can't wait to see what you make.